Well, hello and welcome to one of our SAP Success shorts. We're putting some of our knowledge and experience down in short videos to help customers be more successful. So whether you're implementing or have been running SAP for years, you should get something really useful in the next few minutes. Hello, I'm Derek Pryor from Resulting. Today I'm in the Resulting STEM studio. Originally a chemical engineer, I moved into automation and then SAP business applications some time ago, and I spent nearly 20 years with Gartner talking to and researching and advising SAP customers about SAP business applications. Well, today in the studio, I have the real pleasure of talking to Stuart Brown, Managing Director of Resulting, about how hard it is to be successful with SAP. Stuart, 20 years, what's happened? You must remember the conversation. We were in the pub, the Red Lion, last week. We had the same conversation. 20 years. Customers, SAP customers, we're still making the same mistakes. Why? What do you think's really going on?
I think it's weird and frustrating, actually, that you've got the technology moving at a really fast pace, and all the vendors and the consulting firms push the technology, and it's improved massively. But the way people implement it is pretty much still the same. People are still making the same mistakes they were 10, 15... My first SAP project, people are still making the same mistakes that I made then. And the methodologies have moved on a bit, but not enough. And it's really frustrating because people have spent 10, 20, hundreds of millions on an SAP implementation and just seem to lose the way.
I think you're right. Tens, hundreds of millions. I've seen that all the time. So there must be something. Tell me, what can we do about it?
Well, our experience is a little bit odd. So we spent a lot of our time, or my career, building SAP centres of excellence. So we've seen the aftermath, we've seen an implementation, we've picked it up after go live, and then had to help people run with it or pick up the pieces. I think part of it is focusing on real lessons learned, because there's enough experience now for people to get what needs to be done right. I think focusing not on go live is a misnomer. It's the start. Too many people focus on go live as being the end and then kind of switch the engines off and coast, or focus on fixing things. I think methodologies have got to focus on slightly different things. You've got to focus on adoption rather than implementation. And if you look at a new millennial workforce coming through now, they won't accept rubbish. They won't. You show them a great screen, SAP screen, it just causes confusion and rejection. There are case studies where implementations have failed because they've not got that bit right. And I know SAP are doing some stuff with that now and fixing that in terms of Fiori and UUIs and so on. But I still don't think there's enough focus on the user experience and the adoption and making sure the business gets it.
But Stuart, you really hit on something which resonated with my experience as well, and that's this post-go-live stuff. Do you think SAP customers really think enough about what living with SAP is going to be like after they've gone live, and how sufficient do they need to be?
No, there's not a focus on self-sufficiency. We've worked alongside lots of projects where post-go-live planning is a real afterthought. It's done. I worked at a big consulting firm 15 years ago. We were involved just 6 weeks before go-live to stand up an organisation. That's a 12-month project, and 6 months before go-live, they hadn't thought about. And this isn't just IT support, this isn't just tickets, this isn't just monitoring the applications. This is things like master data maintenance, this is things like how your business process is going to be supported. If someone's got a critical question on, should I cancel this invoice and rebill it, or should I issue a credit note, who do I go to for that answer? Sure, there's business process documentation and there's training materials, but some of the support that's needed to make sure people adopt and fall in love with their SAP system just isn't there.
Stuart, I mentioned, I gave it away, I'm an engineer, right? And what do engineers love to do? We love to measure. So tell me, that we must be able to measure how successful an SAP project is nowadays and learn something. Can't we measure and diagnose? What do you think?
Well, there's an obvious place to start with that, though, which is most people don't start to implement £20 million worth of technology by accident. Somewhere, somebody will have an idea to say, we need to improve the business, we need to change our strategy. Somebody will write a business case for a lot of money. Somebody will approve it. And that business case will be based on lots of individual line items and components that make up a benefits case. And Even recently, in the last few weeks, I've seen high-level design documents with a box that says KPIs, and signed off documents where that says NA will be decided later. They're the things that support the business case. So for me, there's an ecosystem which says that's your business case, these are your benefit line items, this is your design, they're your KPIs. The KPIs should support the benefits delivery. So I think in terms of measurement, that's the approach people should be thinking of taking, is really embedding their business case in the application design and then in the post-go-live delivery and management.
So have we come across enough? We talked about the problems. What about the really successful SAP customers? Can we learn from them? Can we measure what they've been up to and try and get ahead of the game, do you think?
Yeah, and we started doing quite a lot on that at the back end of last year. We did quite a lot of research, polled lots of users and lots of consultancies, and we focused on the key personas in a business that we think are the most influential in SAP Success. The findings, we're still kind of working through the findings, but there's some big common themes in there. I think then enabling people to focus on those themes overtly, rather than just, everyone says, master data is always a problem with SAP, or user adoption is always a problem. But people don't have the frameworks and the kind of maturity assessment that they need to be able to benchmark themselves to say, what does good look like and what should we be doing? I mean, how many SAP customers would you say you spoke to in your time at Gartner?
Thousands.
A lot. So you must have heard some really good stuff, some really bad stuff,
Yeah.
some really scary stuff. All the information's out there, all the guys that have done it well.
Yeah.
We know how they've done it well. There's just not enough on lessons learned. And that's why I think our kind of focus this year is to try and put some content out, some material out, to try and share some of that stuff.
Well, I can tell you, Stuart, based on my experience and your experience as well, it's one thing's clear. If only we had a benchmark, a diagnostic, to learn from both the successful and the unsuccessful customers, we'd be moving the industry forward. This would be groundbreaking if we could help new customers, existing customers be more successful SAP just by measuring, diagnosing and telling them what we've learned.
Yeah, and there are user groups around that do some of that, and there are analyst reports around that do some of that, but there aren't many people focused on that side of the SAP ecosystem, and that's where we want to be. Basically, we're most interested in helping people be successful with SAP, not to implement the new shiny object, not to go and do the next big project that's going to potentially push the boundaries. It's just to be successful, get a return on investment, and make sure that their business changes because they've implemented technology, rather than their business being more painful because they've implemented technology.
Well, I'd like to be part of that, because we need to move the industry forward. We need to get business and IT working better together. And it sounds like what you're saying. If you go to, if our clients would like to learn more, they can go to our website, look at the chances of improving their success with SAP, and there'll be lots of diagnostics and tools which they can use.
Yeah.